Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into the science behind something you've probably eaten 1,000 times. But here's the twist. It's not a plant, it's not an animal, and it holds the key to some really powerful health benefits that researchers are just getting excited about. We are talking about the mighty mushroom.
Okay, so let's just jump right in with a question. It seems really simple, but the answer is the key to understanding everything else we're going to talk about today. When you eat a mushroom, are you just eating another vegetable?
And the answer is a big, resounding no. Nope, not a plant, and definitely not an animal. You're eating from an entirely separate biological kingdom, the fungi kingdom. And that's not just trivia. It's so important because it means mushrooms have these powerful protective compounds that you literally can't find anywhere else, not in the plant kingdom and not in the animal kingdom.
Right, so while you might see B vitamins on a nutrition label, the real magic inside mushrooms is totally hidden. It's in these unique compounds that scientists have found something so promising, they've started calling it a potential longevity vitamin.
Okay, the hero of our story is a compound called ergothioneine. Let's just call it ergo for short. Now think of ergo as this master bodyguard for your cells. It's a really unusual amino acid that our body absolutely loves to use as a powerful antioxidant, defending our cells from all the daily damage that can lead to aging and disease.
Now, this is what's so fascinating. This is the part that really tells you how important ergo is. Our bodies actually have a highly specialized transporter protein. Think of it like a dedicated shuttle bus, whose one and only job is to find ergothioneine in our food and pull it into our cells, especially the ones that are under a lot of stress. You know, when evolution goes to the trouble of creating such a specific tool for just one compound, that is a massive clue that this stuff is absolutely vital for our health.
And it's this unique role as a supercell protector that led the famous biochemist Bruce Ames to say, hey, maybe we should think of ergothioneine as a longevity vitamin. It might not be essential to, live day to day, but it seems to be crucial for long-term health and aging well.
So, the big question is, where do we get it? Well, here's the kicker. Our bodies can't make it. Plants can't make it, and animals can't make it either. Ergothioneine is made almost exclusively by fungi, and that makes mushrooms by a long shot the single best place to get this potential longevity vitamin in our diet.
All right, so we know what ERGO is, we know it comes from mushrooms, but what does the science say it actually does for us? Well, let's start with arguably our most important organ, the brain.
So, this is a really critical piece of the puzzle. Ergo can actually get into your brain. It can cross something called the blood-brain barrier, which is this super selective security gate that protects our brain. The fact that Ergo gets an all-access pass means it can deliver its antioxidant power right where we need it, to our brain cells. And when you look at the big population studies, the effects seem pretty incredible. For instance, there was this major study in Singapore that found that seniors who ate more than 2 servings of mushrooms every week, well, they cut their odds of developing mild cognitive impairment by more than half. I mean, that is just huge. And you see that same pattern elsewhere. A huge study in Japan with over 10,000 older adults found this really clear link. The more mushrooms people ate, the lower their risk of dementia was.
Now, that same cell-protecting power that we see helping the brain is also why researchers are taking a really close look at mushrooms and cancer prevention. Those antioxidant abilities are front and center here.
Okay, so what you're looking at here, if you're just listening, is a chart that sums up the results from 17 different studies, all pulled together. And the conclusion was pretty staggering. The people who ate the most mushrooms had a 34% lower risk of getting cancer compared to those who ate the least. 34%.
And when the scientists dug a little deeper into specific types of cancer, they found that this protective link was especially strong for breast cancer. Higher mushroom consumption was tied to an incredible 35% lower risk.
All right, now for what I think is the most fascinating thing about how mushrooms work, it's how they interact with our immune system. It's like a paradox, really. They seem to do two totally opposite things at the exact same time, and it's incredibly beneficial for us.
So first, let's talk about the boost. There was this one study where they just had people eat cooked white button mushrooms every day for just 1 week. And the result? They saw a 50% jump in something called immunoglobulin A, or IgA. This is basically our body's first line of defense. It's the antibody that protects the lining of our gut and our respiratory tract. And here's the other side of that paradox. So while mushrooms are turning up the dial on our frontline defenses, they are also calming things down in other parts of the body. Studies show they have this
powerful anti-inflammatory effect. And that's key, because that's the kind of chronic inflammation that contributes to so many diseases. So it's not just about boosting your immune system, it's about making it smarter and more balanced.
Okay, so with all this amazing research pointing to benefits for our brain, for cancer prevention, for a smarter immune system, the obvious next question is, how do we actually put mushrooms to work for us? But before we get to that, we have to say this, and it's really important. We are researchers and we love sharing the science. We are not medical doctors, and none of this is medical advice. You should always, always talk to your own doctor or healthcare professional about any personal health concerns. All right, first practical tip, and it is a big one for safety. Always cook your mushrooms. A lot of the really common ones, white button, cremini, portobello, even shiitake, they contain a natural compound that's easily destroyed by heat. So to be safe and get all those benefits, just remember, cooking is key. And the best part is, it is so easy and delicious to add them to your diet. You don't have to overhaul everything. You can just saute them with onions and garlic to build a flavor base for pretty much any dish. Throw them into soups and sauces for that rich, savory flavor. You can even chop them up really fine and mix them in with ground meat for burgers or tacos. Or, hey, make them the star of the show and grill up a big portobello cap like a steak. So whether it's the humble little white button mushroom or the rich, flavorful shiitake, the science is really clear. There is a world of health benefits just waiting for us in the fungi kingdom. All this research strongly suggests that making them a regular part of what you eat is a really powerful move for your long-term health. So the only question left is, which one are you going to try next?